The reason judiciary is fighting the government is judiciary used to have a budgeted corruption.
What has happened to our judges? How do you allow people to continue selling poison to our children?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified when we post a new video. Now ladies and gentlemen, it seems like the negotiated truce between the executive and the judiciary, it was negotiated at State House by the President and Chief Justice Martha Koome, is almost coming to an end. Now over the weekend, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Nandi Senator Cherargei renewed the attacks on the judiciary, accusing them of corruption.
Hatuwezi kuwa ya kwamba kila kitu mahakama inasimamisha. Mimi kama wakili najua kuna uchaguzi wa LSK ambayo inafanywa kuanzia next week. Tutasafisha hiyo jumba ndio tupate nafasi ya kupata LSK officials who will support the president's agenda. Number 2, mimi ni wakili na nimesomea wakili. Hatuelewi mahakama inafanya kazi kwa niaba ya raia wa Kenya ama wale wanapinga serikali. Kwa sababu walisimamisha mapolisi wetu wasiende Haiti. Wamesimamisha wazazi wasilipe school fees through e-Citizen. Wamesimamisha universal health coverage ambaye rais alikuwa amesema pesa ikatwe kuanzia shilingi 500, raia wa kawaida alipe shilingi 300. Wamesimamisha mambo ya housing. Sasa hii mahakama hatujui wanafanyia nani kazi. Are they working for Kenyans or anybody? Hata mambo ya manyumba. Hata Biblia inasema kuna manyumba tunaenda kuiko mbinguni. Lakini hii ya Rais William Ruto tuishi kwa sababu hii manyumba ni ya serikali, ni ya Wakenya na ni kila mtu. Ya mwisho, the reason judiciary is fighting the government is judiciary used to have a budgeted corruption. Tunajua tunapoongea judiciary want to amnesties SRC. SRC iliundwa to set salaries of all public officers including judges. So mimi nataka niambie judiciary, najua kuna kesi inakuja. Hawa majaji wamesema wapewe kagran ya 10 million. Alafu pia wapewe gari ya GK, bodyguard na driver. Na pia bado wanataka 10 million shillings ya kununua magari kubwa kubwa na raia wanaumia. Rais amekataa hiyo budgeted corruption ya judiciary, ndio mnaona judiciary wanapiga rais wetu vita.
Now the same weekend, Rigathi Gachagua, who is the Deputy President of Kenya, was in Kirinyaga County where he was hosted by Governor Uhuru. And during that function, Rigathi talked of judges who are sleeping on the job, and he accused judges of complacency and not knowing what to do.
Mimi nasema, I want to say here today, hata kama tuko na shida kotini, na mimi I want to appeal to the Chief Justice, Lady Justice Martha Koome. Wewe Martha Koome ni mtoto wetu hapa katika Mlima Kenya. Imekuwaje koti zako watu wote wakiwa wako na ile pombe baya wanaenda mnapatia order waendelee kuuza sumu kwa watoto wetu? What has happened to our judges? How do you allow people to continue selling poison to our children? I want to ask Lady Justice Martha Koome and the judges. Huyo mtu amepelekwa kotini mara 13 mkamwachilia. Saa hii watu wamekufa 23 Chief Justice and the judges of Kenya. What will you tell the people of Kirinyaga? Mtatuambia nini watu ya Kirinyaga? Na mimi nataka niulize majudges wetu, wakuwe patriotic na wakuwe reasonable. How do you apply the law to the detriment of the people that you serve? Huyu governor wetu Anne Waiguru amejaribu mambo ya pombe, lakini ametatizwa na polisi na watu ya kotini. And governor, I want to assure you, governor, from the executive, we are going to give you officers who will support you. Kayo mwana ogwetwa iguru are wao. Mwana mwenedere. Arang'ang'ana ari wiki namo ndoreka ciaro nukori tuhia ira wake. Siwezi kubali. Na mimi nataka niseme hii vita ya pombe, Rais William Ruto aliniambia niendelee naye. Watu wengine walikuwa wanasema ati Deputy President amepewa kazi ya pombe, kazi haina maana. Kazi haina maana, watu 23 wamekufa, sio ni kazi ya maana? Na nyinyi wasanii wetu wa Kirumba, tafadhali help us. I am telling you, and I want to speak when I'm in Kirinyaga. Had President William Ruto and I not made a conscious decision to fight illicit brews in this region, in another 10 years, the entire of our population in this region will have been wiped out. Na hatuwezi wachilia watu wetu waumie. Na mimi mwenyewe, I am going to call another meeting for all chiefs and assistant chiefs in this region. Nitawaita. And I am going to issue the last warning. Kwa sababu wanaona kama tunacheza.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at those two attacks on the judiciary, it means like the truce that was negotiated between the president and the Chief Justice is coming to an end. If you look at what the accusations that Rigathi has made there, it points at an executive that wants to dominate the decision making in the country. They do not want to be questioned. If they make unconstitutional policies. And if you go back to the judges, look at what he's accusing the judges of. You know, judges do not make rulings out of the blues. They look at the charge sheet, what has been preferred on a subject by the DPP, which is the Director of Public Prosecution, then look at the law, what the law says when someone is found guilty. And the Constitution itself also has provisions for someone to be released on bond. So whatever decisions are made by judges are made according to the law. So the person that should be blamed here by the executive is the DPP and the investigating officers, which is the DCI, which is the police. Police forms part of the executive. Those are the people that they should strengthen. They should employ more competent officers in the office of the DPP, Director of Public Prosecution, empower the investigating officers so that they can come up with watertight kind of charges against these accused people. But judges will always stick to the law. If you look at what Cherargei is talking about, Cherargei is talking about appointing or electing LSK officials who are favorable to this administration. That is a very dangerous move there by the Kwanza administration, because you don't want a situation whereby you have a divided bar, where there are judicial officers who are pro the government, and then there are guys who are not pro this government. That will bring a lot of divisions within the law society of Kenya, and that will weaken it at the end of it, said that the watchdog role that law society of Kenya plays will be weakened, and the net effect will be felt by Kenyans. But let's look at all these accusations that politicians are making. Politicians, just like the deputy president has made those allegations against judicial officers. Most times you find that politicians make such remarks without even referring to the law itself. It demonstrates lack of knowledge by politicians, their lack of knowledge of the law. Because indeed, most of the time, you will rarely find politicians bother to state the section of the law that they allege that the judiciary have kind of violated. They make pronouncements that they want to appeal to the emotions of Kenyans so that they can have sympathy. But in all these cases, I think Kenyans have become of age and they're able to synthesize information and make critical analysis and critical decisions. Like in all these cases where the judiciary has been accused, most of the time you find that Kenyans have sided with the judiciary because they know very well that when the executive is given excess powers, they are the ones who are going to suffer. And all these attacks by the executive takes us back to the colonial era, whereby the judiciary was like part of the executive, and the judiciary was working for the executive. Whenever the executive made pronouncements, like whenever the executive made pronouncements, it was upon the judiciary to make sure that they worked towards achieving that. And this also was done during Kenyatta's era and Moi's era, whereby most judges received calls from the house on the hill, which is State House, and they would implement as pronounced by the president. But after the promulgation of the Constitution in 2010, there have been a lot of improvement in the way the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary have been working. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the judiciary should be strengthened because judiciary itself enforces individual rights, while parliament should exist to provide negotiated kind of solutions to social issues. That is why parliament, there is a provision for public participation. They are able to discuss issues. But judiciary will look at the laws that have been implemented, the laws that the legislature has come up with, and they then make rightful decisions that will protect the interest of individuals against the state, and that will protect the state against these individuals. So the executive should embrace the judiciary in such a way that the judiciary will try as much as possible to help the executive achieve some of its aims, particularly when it comes to very difficult political issues and when it comes to matters to do with the fight against corruption. Because when the judiciary is weakened, the fight against corruption, which the Kenya Kwanza administration is talking about, will also not go according to their plan. Some of the issues that they're talking about will not go as planned. And then a strong judiciary gives confidence to investors. They will know very well that we have a strong judiciary, that whenever we have any altercation, when we have any kind of disagreements, then we can go to a court of law that is transparent. Our cases will be listened to, and then an order will be made or a ruling will be made, which will be taken care of by the executive or enforced by the executive. So this war between the executive and the judiciary should stop at the end of the day, because it's not good for this country. It doesn't give confidence to investors. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us today. Until next time, bye-bye.